What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 14, you guys, episode number 9. And this episode is titled Behind Frenemy Lines, guys. Now, before we go ahead and jump into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I'll need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss this episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, shall we? All right, you guys. So I'm gonna start up with where the episode started up with Teresa. Let's knock her out the way real quick. So we see Teresa, and Teresa is talking to Gia about the party. Here's my thing when it comes to Gia. I've said it once and I'll say it again. When it comes to Gia, I really do feel that Gia needs to stay out of these women's business. Like, and then for you to be upset when people mention you, but you have an input, you have opinions on things. So if you don't want to stay over there in your place with people your age and get involved with this stuff, then what happens, right? And I know that they're filming a show surrounding Gia, Riley, Candace's daughter from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kim's daughter, it's not Brielle, I think it's Ariana, Kim's daughter Ariana. I know Brooks Marks is on there, and some other kids are on there. So they're doing a show filming it in Manhattan. So hopefully with that we won't have to see Gia as much on New Jersey going forward if they do decide to keep this cast for next season, and even if they keep Teresa. That's all I'll say, right? So Teresa is telling Gia that she missed the whole thing that happened with Jennifer and Danielle. And I know I mentioned it last week, and I noticed that Teresa did look away, but I still feel like that was kind of calculated because it's so interesting. And even Gia said, you were standing right there, you didn't see it, and Teresa was like, no, she must have turned her head briefly, which she did. You saw Jennifer and Danielle, they were going back and forth with each other, right? And then out of nowhere, you just see Teresa's head turn, and that's when Jennifer just boom pushed Danielle. And I was like, okay, kind of convenient, but okay, it is what it is, right? And we'll talk about Jennifer in just a little bit. We'll talk about that. But Teresa's whole thing is she wants for Danielle and Jennifer to make up with each other without it getting too volatile, right? And I was just like, okay, Teresa, good luck with that one because I don't know if that's going to happen. But hey, if you want to try it, go for it. But let's just be real with each other when it comes to Teresa. If that same thing happened to you, you wouldn't be trying to be friends with that woman, with either one of them. Let's just be real. Because, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna leave it in the past. No, I was thinking about this all weekend because it's interesting when it comes to Jersey, right? And Teresa. Teresa has had it out with so many people, past and present, right? And I always feel like I do feel like people do kiss her behind to be on this show. And I'll give you guys two examples. One I never want to see on this show again, and I've said it numerous times, but they're friends again, and that is Jacqueline and Loretta. She and Jacqueline are cool with each other, and I, for the life of me, don't understand how Jacqueline is cool with her and how Teresa's cool with Jacqueline. Another person that I think is weird is Danielle Staub. Teresa flipped a table. She was coming after you at the reunion when she pushed Andy down, but her and Teresa, Danielle and Teresa became cool. So I just find it quite odd. But hey, it is what it is. You guys let me know what you guys think about Teresa, and we will discuss it in the comments. And if you're in a live chat, we'll discuss it there. So next up, you guys, let's talk about my girl Marge. As much as I love Marge, I want her. I know she feels a way about this whole situation with Jackie and the book, right? What I would say for Marge is I wish that Marge had just said, made her 2 cents known how she felt about the book, right? And that she didn't get a copy of the book. Say it, leave it, be done with it after that, right? But she talked about it again in this episode. I was like, oh God, Margaret, leave that damn book alone. I'm sick of you in this book. But that ain't really what the majority of her scene was about. So I'm glad that it wasn't mostly about Jackie. But her scene in this episode, she's with Joe, and you guys remember in last week's episode, or was it last week's episode, or was it the week before? Which episode it was, when she was talking about Joe and this them worried about if he has prostate cancer, right? I love the fact that Joe is in good spirits and he's basically saying, he's thinking positive, and he's saying that prostate cancer doesn't run in his family. So Margaret looked it up, and it is a low percentage if it doesn't run in your family, right? But they're still waiting for the test results to come back, and then they did talk to the doctor about the test results. So the doctor does want to schedule him in for MRI. And the thing with the MRI is it's just his results did come back abnormal, but right now they just want to see what it is, if there's anything to worry about. And if there is something to worry about, then they'll come up with an action plan. And I'm cool with that. So prayers up to Joe. Hopefully, it's not anything bad. Hopefully, just praying and sending well wishes to Joe's direction. That is all we got for Margaret in this episode. Let's go ahead and move on to Black Dolores. Black Dolores. Black Dolores. Black Dolores. Oh God. What do I say about at this point, I'm tired of saying the same thing when it comes to Dolores, because it's like a broken record at this point. I said it once and I said it again. I don't think that Polly wants to divorce his wife. He's Even if he does divorce his wife, like he said, what does Dolores think he's going to get down and propose to her the next day? He's not going to do it. But I don't think that it's a good idea for Dolores to be working in his company, his electrical company. But she is. And I was just like, okay, girl, if that's what you want to do, then, by all means, do it. Dolores has a bad track record when it comes to men. Let's just be real with each other, right? But hey, if Dolores likes it, I love it. Now, while she was sitting there with Paulie, she got a call from Rachel. So Rachel was out at an event dealing with arthritis with children, and so she was just going to talk to the kids, right? And so, Dolores was talking to Paulie about what happened the night before with Jennifer and with Danielle, and she's talking in her interview saying, Melissa and Margaret, they don't know about this yet. And I was like, I'm pretty sure they do, because hell, I think everybody, if you follow New Jersey on social media, then you knew about this altercation after it happened. And this is another reason why I believe that Twitter account Melissa's old knows, because when the story first came out, the narrative was going against Danielle, that Danielle was the one who, and did whatever to Jennifer, right? And I remember reading, because the way that the blogs made it seem, you would have thought that Danielle hit Jennifer with a glass, right? Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh shit, she clocked her with a glass. So, because the way they were talking about it, I thought Jennifer might have been bleeding and all that kind of stuff. But then to see the episode last week, it was like, oh, so it was actually Jennifer who, you know, started this shit with Danielle. And I saw so many people last week on Twitter defending Jennifer, and I just don't understand how y'all could defend Jennifer when we saw it in black and white. Well, not black and white. We actually saw it in color that it was actually Jennifer Aiden who pushed Danielle. And I know people keep saying that Danielle was in her face. They were in each other's face. Let's keep that real with each other. They were in one another's face. So it's not like Jennifer was just this wallflower that didn't, can't defend herself. So miss me with that BS, right? But Dolores was telling Rachel about what happened and whatnot, and that was really all that we got with that scene with Dolores. We'll talk about it again a little bit later because we're going to talk about Jennifer, and ooh, I got some things to say. So let's go ahead and move on to Melissa. I think we'll go. Should we move? Yeah, we'll move on to Melissa. So let's get Melissa on the screen. So with Melissa, it really wasn't much with her scene. We just got the wedding. Remember her cousin that we saw earlier in the season when they went out to dinner for Antonia. Well, this cousin, he's getting married. Joe was he's officiating the wedding, and that was really all that it was. Wasn't much to it, right? Um, oh God, I do get sick of hearing about Joe, Teresa, and the family situation. I really do sometimes. But the thing with both of them are they're both stubborn, and that's a problem. Do I think that Joe and Teresa can move forward? Yes, I do. I would hope they can, but I think that, like I've said plenty of times before, this show is the biggest problem between Joe and Teresa, and also the stands, the Teresa stands. I think they also contribute to this as well. But what I also will say is I love when it comes to Jersey how the men are very secure with their sexuality because you saw Joe, he kissed Melissa's cousin on the lip, and I was like, that's what I love about the Jersey men. Even though sometimes the things that they do definitely do give homoerotic, but I'd be like, okay, I just love that with the Jersey men that they are secure and who they are within themselves, and it's very interesting because especially when it comes to the Italian side, But hey, neither here nor there. Let me know you guys' thoughts and your opinions, and we shall move forward and discuss the next person who I don't really want to discuss, but we'll talk about her. Jennifer Aiden. Jennifer. If I could sum this whole scene up in a few words, it would be full of shit. Because that's exactly what you are, Jennifer. So Jennifer is doing some history revisit. She's rewriting history because she's now, in a sense, making herself the victim in this whole situation, right? So she has Teresa and Jen Fessler over to her home. And like I said, she's now playing the victim. She's rewriting everything to make Danielle the bad guy, to make Danielle the enemy, right? So she's saying to Teresa and Jen Fessler that, you know, Danielle was in her face. And she's doing it like Danielle was in her face, like ready to fight her and stuff, right? And so she said her reflexes were just to push Danielle back. I was like, excuse me. I wanted Bravo to play the footage back for everybody to see what they may have. They may have, and I might have missed it, right? But from what I saw, and they actually did play it earlier with Teresa, you and Danielle were talking. Danielle kept saying, "You're dirty. You're dirty." And then she called you, what did she call you? Whatever she called you, right? And then you repeated it and you pushed her. So she never put her hands on you. So if anybody had a reflex reaction, it was Danielle when she clocked you upside the face with that glass, that plastic glass, by the way, right? So then she starts to say that because Jen Fessler is saying that, well, she said you said that she stole from the charity. And Jennifer Aiden said, well, I never said that. You absolutely did allude to the fact that that woman stole from the fucking charity. Like, Jennifer, stop lying. Jesus, that woman was lying. Then, she wants to say, she's rewriting everything. The stuff with is it Marissa, this whole stuff with Laura, is it Laura Jansen, whatever her last name is, right? She's rewriting everything, and I was just sitting here thinking to myself, like, Jennifer must literally forget that they are filming a damn show, because, girl, you are lying through your teeth. You did insinuate that that woman stole from the charities, paid herself back. What the hell does that mean? You Then you talking about the friendship thing. You lie, and then you also lied in that particular moment when you were talking about the friend, her friend that you guys were doing stuff for. You said, like, you rewrote that whole situation. Like, Jennifer was sitting there lying. Danielle was in Marge's face, pointing, doing all types of sign language last season. That's who should have pushed Danielle, right? But Jennifer is sitting her lying through her. Oh gosh, she was just lying through her goddamn teeth, and it was irritating me. But they didn't irritate me as much as what happened when we got to Danielle's party. That's what really irritated me, right? Because now Jen Fessler is on Jennifer's side. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? But okay, girlfriend. So Teresa told Jennifer that she's going to be going to Danielle's bougie kids relaunch party, right? And so Jennifer feels a way about the fact that Teresa's going to be going to that party, because now, like I said, Jennifer is trying to flip it that she didn't do anything to Danielle, that Danielle actually attacked her. So now she's mad that she's feeling the way that Teresa is going to Danielle's event when she was the one that was attacked, but it's not true, right? And I'm like, Jennifer, this should be a cautionary tale for you. This should tell you who Teresa really is. Because Teresa would have a fit if and let's be real. I know Teresa's played it cool on camera, that she's okay with the fact that Jennifer is trying to build a relationship with Melissa and Margaret, but I guarantee you, behind the scenes, Teresa was pissed off and going off. Teresa, she's not bright, but she ain't that dumb. What I think Teresa is very calculated. She's a calculated person, right? So I bet you Teresa behind the scenes was pissed the same way she had felt about the exact same way that she felt when it came to Danielle, when she was talking to Gia, telling Gia that she hopes that that Danielle is not talking about her to Melissa and to Margaret. But Jennifer, my thing with you is, Teresa, the things that you would do for Teresa, Teresa wouldn't do for you. And that's just my personal opinions. If you guys agree or disagree, it's fine. And it is what it is, right? But yeah. So then Jen Fessler, I've come to the conclusion that I just don't like Jen Fessler because she's a bad friend. And I'm gonna explain to you guys why I say she's a bad friend. It's one thing that you cool with Teresa and Jennifer, right? That's fine. And your friends, your friend Margaret, your friend Melissa, and your friend Rachel Fuda don't like them, right? That's fine. Well, technically, they don't like Teresa, but that's fine, right? Be friends with them. But they've asked you multiple times not to talk to Teresa about them. That is Margaret and Rachel alike. We'll get to that in just a minute, but let's go ahead and move on to Danielle. All right, you guys. So we get Danielle. So Danielle is going to be having a relaunch party for her bougie kids line, and she's inviting everyone with the exception of Jennifer. Which, I mean, I'm not shocked about that, and Jennifer shouldn't be shocked about that, and nobody should be shocked about that, right? So with this, she was talking about what happened at the party tonight with Jen. And she says she let a lot of shit fly when it came to Jen, and I bet you she did. But I think that she let a lot of stuff fly when it came to Jim because she thought that they were her friends. Again, how did she think that they were her friends? I do not know for the life of me. But you live and you learn, right? But I don't know how she thought that those girls were her friends because they're absolutely not her friends. And like I said, Jennifer, you know, I really think that Jennifer never liked her. And this was her way of saying, you know, just F you. This is basically an F you to Danielle. Now, when it comes to the charity event, right? Because Danielle was talking about that, and also Jennifer them talked about the charity event. I do believe that Jennifer got pissed off at Danielle. Like I said last week, I think that the real issue came from the situation with the reunion last year, right? When they were on the stage, and Danielle asked them, "Did you set me up?" I think they were still pissed off. Well, I'll say Jennifer. I think Jennifer was still pissed off about that shit, and then this whole stuff with not inviting Laura to the charity event. I think that also plays a pivotal part in this. Jennifer might not want to say it, but I think it plays a pivotal part in it, right? So we do get to Danielle's party, relaunch party. I actually liked the party. It was cute, right? So her dad was supposed to come, but Nate told her that her dad was sick, so he wouldn't be able to make it, right? So then we see as the ladies start arriving, and before Teresa and Gia got there, you know, it was Jen Fessler, Danielle, Rachel, and Danielle's friend talking, right? And they were just talking about what happened at the party. Then you got Jen Fessler's ass over here just going along with the lies that Jennifer Aiden told her. And Danielle was like, "It's not like you're taking Jennifer's side." She said, "I am." And she's like, "It's not like she slept with your husband." I was like, "Girl, what?" But she pushed, you know what? Jen Fessler can go for me. Jen Fessler can go. I just don't see it for that lady at this point, right? So then, what happened after that? So Teresa arrived, and when Teresa arrived, Rachel was like, "You know what? On that note, I don't want to be around this woman. I'd rather talk to these kids." I was like, "Hell, talking to them kids is probably like talking to Teresa. Let's be real with each other, right?" So Teresa is talking to Danielle. She's like, "I don't think that Jennifer was trying, wanted to hurt you. And, I don't think that she would make up stories." She did. Like, Teresa, oh God. Teresa, if somebody did this to you, you would be ready to the same way you were ready to fight Danielle Staub at the reunion is the way Teresa's a hypocrite. Teresa's a fucking hypocrite. That's all I gotta say. If you like Teresa, it is what it is. But I just say she's a hypocrite, right? Because she wouldn't be going for this. Let's just be real. Teresa would not go for this. Y'all can agree or disagree. It is what it is, right? So after that, we see Gia. So at one point, Gia was with her mom and with Jen Fessler, right? These people are less than smart. Do y'all not know what a reference and an analogy are? Because what John Fuda did was made a reference to Gia. He didn't say nothing about Gia. He made a reference to her. And Gia's talking about she wants him to stop talking about her. Well, little girl, stop being among the people. Stop being among them, talking about the other people with your mother and whoever else, right? And then Jen Fessler, granted, you were trying to I'm using air quotes, you guys can't see me, but I'm using air quotes. Granted, you say you were trying to defend and stand up for Rachel and John. Your friends Margaret and Rachel have both asked you when it involves Teresa not to mention them. But what do anyways? You mention them to Teresa. And it's like, God, my God. So I wasn't too upset with Rachel for getting pissed off at Jen Fessler. I really wasn't, because you're not listening to what your friends are saying to you. and that is bothersome to me because if you say don't mention me to someone, then why do you go back and do it? But yeah, you guys, ugh. And I agree with Melissa. Like she's a child. Now, granted, I know Gia is a grown woman, right? Gia's grown, but in this space, she's still like a kid, right? She's still like a kid. And that's what I said last week when it comes to her, right? The same way that Kim used to try to say that, for them not to come at her child on Real Housewives of Atlanta, i.e. Kenya, but your daughter came for her. So if she's an adult enough to come for me, then she's gonna get these adult clapbacks and reads. That's how I feel. And that's how I feel when it comes to Gia. If Gia gonna be grown enough to sit there and have the conversation with her mom about any of these women, then she can take it as well. Nurse Tina, let's see what you say. But all the tree haters are saying Jennifer should see Teresa's true colors because she went to Danielle. However, totally bypassing the fact that Jennifer went to Melissa's housewarming. I actually just spoke about that. So I'm not bypassing the fact that Teresa, I'm not bypassing that. I actually just mentioned that Teresa was cool with it, but we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Teresa might not have actually been cool with it because, as I stated a few minutes ago, Teresa doesn't want Danielle talking about, her to Margaret and to Melissa. So, and I'm not a tree hater, if that's what you're calling me. I'm not a tree hater. I don't hate the woman. I don't even know her. I just call out what I see on the show. So that's it. That is it. But yeah, I feel like they should see each other's true colors. I don't think that Teresa nor Jennifer are real friends with each other. I don't think any of these women are like 100% real friends at this point, right? So that's all I have to say. So yeah, but yeah, let me know what else you guys think about this episode in the live chat or in the comments. But yeah, just wanted to address that comment. I'm not one sided when it comes to Teresa and Jennifer. Not one sided. But yeah, you guys, that is it. Be sure to like the videos. You guys subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.